Today I'm riding on 9 privately owned stunning train cars.
I mean, look at this bathroom. It's so luxurious here.
With lots of history dating back to the early 1900s as we make our way through beautiful Vermont to catch the fall foliage. But the trip starts in Montreal, Canada.
Right now I'm in the middle of Montreal, but I'm not gonna stay here. I'm going over the border to Vermont. I'm doing something really exciting there, but let's take a bus first. All right, made it to Burlington. It's a nice city. And while this place is nice, I'm not here to enjoy the city. I'm heading towards the train station. Oh, looks like they're pulling in right now. I'm just on time. This is not the normal railway station. It's kind of like a rail yard, and it's pretty windy here, so I don't even know if you could hear me. Is it Bill? Nice to meet you.
Cool.
Thanks for having me.
Nice to be here.
This is my first private rail car experience, so let's go on board and check out the car that I'm staying in for the next 2 days.
So Kevin will be your roommate. You'll be in the upper, he'll be in the lower.
Okay.
Let's get you in here. And Will isn't here, so I'm gonna have to change the door sign here to Kevin and Sebastian.
So this is my room for 2 nights. Bunk beds. Got the upper bunk. It's kind of like with Mike on the VRL Canadian bunk beds. So this is what the room looks like during the day when the lower bed is converted to this bench here, and has some nice leather here. Looks pretty new and it's so comfortable. You can look outside and close the door and have some privacy. And of course here is the bathroom, and you got a toilet in there. This is the master bedroom on a train. It's a pretty, I think it's a queen size bed. Looks pretty comfy, and you can flip it up. It's kind of like a Murphy bed.
And that locks it in place.
So that's where the seats were hiding. They were under the bed. Yeah, this is comfortable.
Now before we continue the tour of the Blue Ridge Club and the other amazing private train cars on this trip, let's talk to the man who brought me here.
I'm Bill Gray, president of Pennsylvania Pullman's, owner of this car, the Blue Ridge Club. And the car was built in 1950 for the Chesapeake and Ohio Railroad. It was used as the first class car on that train. They initially on a resort special from Chicago to Petoskey, Michigan.
Now Bill's car is just one of 9 really unique private cars on this train, each with its own history. The great thing is that they're all different. Some have high sleeping capacity like Kevin's car called Berlin, with big cozy private rooms. Others have bunk beds, while some are very luxurious and modern. Then there's dome cars, historic cars from the 1920s, and cars that presidents and celebrities used. But what they all have in common is a place to make food, because when you're riding on a train, you need to eat.
And you do all the cooking in the kitchen back there, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Looks
We've
delicious.
been cooking for 3 cars.
Oh wow.
This one, Colonial Craft,
Yeah.
and the Francis F. Suda.
This is the kitchen. I see some apple pie here. We're gonna have later. Yeah, it's a pretty nice kitchen.
So what's the game plan for the next 2 days?
Now we're parked on this rail yard in Burlington for like 2 days. The city's really nice. I'd already checked it out, and I can't wait to leave tomorrow and see all the fall colors Vermont has to offer. We're going from Burlington to Albany.
So before we leave tomorrow, I'm gonna explore the rest of Bill's car, starting with the lounge, my favorite area of the train.
This right here is the lounge. There's some tables so you can have dinner, breakfast, and then this is my favorite area of the train. The lounge here. Good for having a drink, enjoying the scenery go by.
As the sun is setting, it's dinner time and all the guests meet in the lounge car. The car completely transformed to a fancy restaurant and the atmosphere is amazing. While the other guests are staying up a little longer, I'm tired from all the travel and headed to bed early to be ready for the next day.
Good morning. It's the second day. Slept really well actually, and it's a little cloudy today, but just gonna get some breakfast and then take a shower. So we got a nice spacious shower here, definitely bigger than on the VRL Canadian that I've showered on. Showering on a train. We got soap, we got conditioner, and then we also have a toilet here, and then this folds out to a sink. You can wash your hands. All fresh, time for breakfast.
So today we're finally starting the journey to Albany, but until then there's a few more hours, which gives me the opportunity to explore a little bit more of the area.
Burlington lies also on this beautiful, kind of big lake. I think we're gonna drive along there on the way to Albany, so it's a nice place, definitely. Lots of breweries, a nice downtown area, and a nice big lake.
And before we leave, I also have the opportunity to look at a very special car that is the oldest of the train, from 1914.
This particular car is a 1914 Pullman, so it's the oldest one of all the cars here. It was built for the executives of the Pennsylvania Railroad. We have one bedroom that's a single bed, a double bed that is, and that's where the executive would sleep. And the next room is a upper berth and lower berth, common that you saw in those days by Pullman. At night, the table comes out, the benches slide together, and becomes a bed.
So this folds down, and then there's a
bed
sleep
there too.
So you have 4 bathrooms in total.
Right,
So this door goes into the other shower, which we just were in.
right.
So you can share the showers.
And then in the dining room, I have Murphy beds. And we can add 2 more people, and the crew quarter has 2, so it's a total of 8 that can sleep on the car.
So these fold out, and then on the
Right.
other side as well, so people can sleep there.
Yeah.
So 2 more. Secret closet.
Secret closet.
Yeah.
Don't tell anybody.
I won't.
This is really high tech. It opens and closes the vent overhead.
And with that, we're finally on the way.
Now we're moving. Finally, we're pulling out of Burlington, going all the way to Albany, New York, where it's going to be the final destination for this train. And I'm also going to get off there and then take the train up from Albany to Montreal again. My first time on Amtrak. Let's see how that goes. But first today, we enjoy the ride on this train.
And before we look at the most luxurious car in this train, I want to know more about this trip, and I know just the guy to ask.
Every year they try to do this in this area because of the beautiful fall foliage, and we have repeat customers that do this every year. So it's a really nice event, and the Vermont rail system on which we were operating has been just absolutely splendid. They've been great, and we had beautiful weather until today with the rain, but take a little rain with everything else, but we've had great weather all week, beautiful blue skies. The fall foliage wasn't quite at peak, but it was still very nice, and again, beautiful ride.
Yeah, I mean, I've been only here for like 2 days, but I really enjoyed being here.
Well, and I'm glad you came along, because
Yeah.
it's always nice to have, by you presenting this, it gets the rest of the world an opportunity to see what the limited number of people on the train saw.
Well, we're about to take a look at Kevin's car called Berlin, which is mostly a sleeper and used to serve on the American Orient Express, hence the nice woodwork and cozy feel.
So these are the rooms on the Berlin sleeper car. They're all kind of the same size, except one is a little smaller. See, it's pretty big. This fold out to a bed. You can either make 2 single beds or a king-size bed, which covers the whole room. And then during the daytime, there's these nice benches or couches where you can just have a little privacy, close the door, and enjoy the scenery going by.
Normally it's 10 people plus 2 crew.
Yeah.
Occasionally we'll get a family or 2 couples that know each other very well that are comfortable sharing a room.
Yeah.
Most of the time it's 10 people and 2 crew.
Okay.
There's also a smaller room with upper and lower berth that can be converted to a bench during the daytime.
And the
You
bed
gotta-
comes down.
Also, I should mention that all the rooms have private bathrooms and showers, and they're really nice.
Okay, this is a piece of the Berlin Wall, and because the car is named Berlin, it makes a lot of sense.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you gotta have that in the car.
And as we're picking up some speed through the beautiful Vermont countryside, I got a chance to visit the most luxurious car on the train, the Menzies Vista from the Aberdeen, Carolina and Western Railway. And let me tell you, it's something I have never seen before.
Now this is definitely the most beautiful card on this train. Let's check it out.
Upon entering, you're greeted with this beautiful open lounge with chairs and a couch for relaxing. There's also a very cool, interesting lighting fixture at the ceiling that immediately catches your eyes. To be honest, I could get used to traveling like this, but the rest of the car is equally as beautiful.
I mean, look at this bathroom. It's so luxurious here. These are marble countertops. There's a toilet in the corner here. The shower is pretty spacious as well. Everything in this car is so much attention to detail. Even the cabinets here, look at this. And then the door has some nice woodwork as well. So this could be like in a hotel, but it's on a moving train. So it's absolutely beautiful. And let's check out the rest of the car.
Going down the hallway, we enter the bar area that has a beautiful mosaic pattern window and stairs leading up to the dome. Even the handrails look interesting here. Going up to the dome car, you have comfortable seats and big windows that lets you watch the scenery go by. Unfortunately, today is rainy, but it still makes for a cool atmosphere. At the back of the dome is a table where food is served. Every rail car is beautifully restored, and I can't even imagine how much work goes into bringing it to the state it is in today.
And I think the bedrooms are really special here as well. Let's check them out. See someone in there? The doors again are really nice work. Wow. This bedroom is amazing.
Can you imagine waking up in this room and seeing beautiful scenery going by? I think I would have a very hard time getting up.
There's this nice ensuite bathroom and nice big windows that you can see outside.
And there's also some cool tech involved if you want a little bit more privacy.
So before you could see out, and now you can't anymore.
Right now.
And then you press a button. So if you want some privacy, you can just press a button. And if you want to look outside, you can see the scenery. Because on a train you don't have so much space usually. This is really efficient. You can pull up the bed and you can have storage room under the bed here, which is pretty cool. And maybe some people prefer to sleep like that with their feet up.
I hadn't heard that one. That's cute.
Even as a washer and dryer on board. You can do a little stop here in Rutland, I think, and that's where they're gonna change the engines. And then we're gonna go all the way to Albany, which we should arrive at 6 p.m. But hopefully the rain stops and we see some more fall colors on the way.
On the way back to the Blue Ridge Club, where I will spend the rest of the journey to Albany, I gotta show you one more car that is known to be the car Elvis Presley used to ride in.
So in 1960, after Elvis, he was drafted in the war,
Yeah.
and he was in Germany. And after he was released, he flew from Germany to Fort Dix in New Jersey.
Yeah.
And he needed to get back home to Memphis, to Graceland. So he needed a rail car, and they went to the Pennsylvania Railroad, and they, for whatever reason, this is the car that was chosen.
So this is the room Elvis stayed in the train.
You can see the bend of the couch. You can see the white dots behind the head right there.
We're moving again. Other than riding in these beautiful cars, what else makes this journey so special?
You know, part of our passion is to restore these cars and return them to service, and it gives people an opportunity to have an immersive experience where they can come back and ride in the style that was prevalent in the 1950s of luxury train travel in the United States, and to see the beautiful countryside, which, you know, otherwise, because we go places where there's no roads, so you couldn't see those places unless you're on the train. And so we, in fact, a number of the sections of track that we ran on were what we call rare mileage. In other words, there's no passenger trains on those today, so in many cases you could have never been on those tracks and seen those vistas had it not been for this train.
And of course, a train like this attracts attention. Spectators waiting along the tracks to admire the beautiful cars from the outside. For the last leg of the stretch, I enjoyed the comfortable lounge of the Blue Ridge Club and talked to other guests on board. Everybody has been super nice, and it's definitely a great way to meet interesting people.
We do trips year-round. Last year, the fall foliage trip that as you know, that Mike Downey was on, was down in West Virginia, and that was also really fun. And it's always nice, you know, you meet all different sorts of people on these trips. Some that have never been on a train before, others that are experienced travelers who just do this because they love train travel. So it's always an enriching experience for us as well as the people that are on board as customers.
Almost in Albany, which is where the final stop of this train is and where I get off. This was a great experience. I never would have been here without the invitation of Bill. So Bill, thank you so much for inviting me. I got to see so many cool train cars. If you want to see more train content or other content, I do outdoor adventure stuff. Follow along, and I'll see you on the next adventure.
Well, I just want to say thanks to all the people that are watching this, because it truly is a great way to travel if you have a chance, and everybody should do it. It should be a bucket list item for everybody, and they should try to ride on the train.
So this is the final destination.
And then we finally make it to Albany, New York. I have one last delicious meal on the train before it's time to say goodbye.
It's the last dinner on the train before I get off. Food has been absolutely delicious. Thanks for having me, Bill.
You're very welcome, and thanks to our chef Fran and our car attendant Matt for the wonderful service, and I appreciate it very much. Very glad you made it. It's a pleasure to have you on board.
All right, this is my station. We're in Albany. It is raining. I'm gonna take the train back here tomorrow at 11 a.m. And Bill is nice enough to carry my luggage.
Get that up there? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you again.
All right,
See you
take care.
soon.
All right, bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.